Hello guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Let me just put the disclaimers up there on the top left hand side of the screen. So by all means, please read them. If you need to pause the video to do so, then please do that. Now, just to point you to where you can go for support. So you've got Becky at tradewithufos.com. That's an email address you can use, that gets to me. And then there's support at tradewithufos.com. That goes through to the support team. Again, always happy to help by email. Now, there's also another place you can go to ask questions, and I'll show you that in a minute. But just to very briefly introduce what the 3D market commentary is for those that might not know. Now, we send an email out every day, Monday to Friday, to our free members that has information on major world markets, looking at the statistical likelihoods for those markets, specifically looking at 3 different statistical elements, hence the 3D market commentary. We do the video to just expand on that email, give it a bit more context, and explain to you where it's all coming from. Now, in terms of questions that you might have and other resources that you can use, if you go to tradewithufos.com/Becky, which will bring you here, you can get different apps and platforms at the top there. You can book one-on-one coaching if you'd like. If you scroll down, you can log in for free and you can ask questions in this public space. Now, you may find that somebody else has already asked that question and therefore the answers are already in here. Or it might be that you're doing somebody else that favour by asking the question publicly in a place where we can answer it. So use that link for different resources, platforms, coaching, and also to ask questions or find answers to questions. Now, I said that we send out an email every day, so let's bring that up. That's what it looks like. And it's relevant to market data, so we'll bring that up as well. Now, the 3 separate elements that we look at per market in terms of the statistical likelihoods for them are these 3. So the first thing is what we call market climate, which is essentially how or the direction that we expect the market to go in, the upcoming likely market direction, up, down, or nowhere. Now, how do we have an idea of where that might be? We use an app, a free app on most platforms you can get it on, called AutoClimate. And what AutoClimate does is basically tell us where those probabilities lie. If we have a thick blue dot on the AutoClimate, that tells us probability is upwards. If we have a thick red dot, like we have currently, that tells us probability is downwards. If we have a thin dot of either colour, that tells us probability is in neither direction. So we focus on the dots, not the lines at this point, focusing on the dots to give us an idea of where the probability lies, where the market is likely to go. We then look at buy and sell UFOs, which is essentially where are the buyers, where are the sellers in this market. UFO stands for unfilled orders. So we're looking at buy orders and sell orders. Again, we use an app to help us. In this case, it's the Auto UFO app. And what it does is it shows us with these little green UFOs and the prices on the right-hand side, where lots of buyers are. With the little red UFOs, the prices on the right-hand side, that tells us where the sellers are, where lots of sellers are. That's helpful to know because sellers likely push price down, buyers likely push price up. So we want to know where they are on a chart to give us an idea of where we might buy and sell from. Then we look at market volatility, which is essentially how quickly we expect these markets to move. So we'll look at each of those elements per market. For each of the markets we look at, we are looking at a daily chart. Now, different things happen on different time frames, but everything here is relevant to a daily chart. So we will start with the S&P 500, which is the top 500 US stocks. Essentially, we're looking at a representation of US stocks right now. So for the S&P 500 on a daily chart, we have a thick red dot, therefore probability downwards, climate pointing downwards. Now we have sellers here between 4411.50 to 4250, and we have buyers here between 3983.75 to 3933.75. Overall, we're kind of in between them. Not really close to the sellers, not really close to the buyers. So the probability to the downside is coming mainly there from the climate, probability down. Now, in terms of volatility, we would expect that the S&P 500, the top 500 US stocks, would move up or down in 1 year by 37.43%. So in a day, that's 102.11 points up or down. In a week, 224.79 points up or down, or in a month, 467.94 points. And again, that's movement up or down. So that's the S&P 500, currently probability downwards. Now the next market is crude oil. Before I load it, just to point your attention here to the different courses that we offer. We do courses in futures, stocks, forex, backtesting, trading plans, and psychology. So if you feel that you need help in any of those areas, our courses are very affordable and very helpful. Now, most of our courses come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps that we use. Now, AutoClimate, which is this one here, is a free app on most platforms you can get it on. UFOs, which is the one that shows us the buyers and the sellers, that's a paid-for app. It's a monthly subscription, and it depends on which platform you use as to how much it costs. Now, you can subscribe directly to the UFOs by themselves. You don't need to do a course in order to get access to them. But most of the time, getting a course and getting free access to the UFOs for 3 months is cheaper and more efficient than it would be to just use the UFOs for 3 months. So check that out depending on what you do as to what works best for you. Now coming back here to oil, really recent boost up here in oil. So with oil, we have a thick blue dot probability upwards. No surprise there, we've seen it been going up consistently now for a few months. Now, we have no sellers above us, so nothing in the close vicinity that can be pushing price back down that we can see. We do have buyers, but they're a little way away. The buyers are between 80.47 to 77.83, and we're currently at 99.75. So basically, we have probability to the upside, but for the time being, we don't have either stacks of buyers or sellers to either continue pushing it up or push it down. So overall, probability up coming from the climate mainly. Now, in terms of volatility, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year on oil by 50.51%. So in a day, that's 3.18 points. In a week, up or down by 7 points. And in a month, 14.57 points, either up or down. So that's crude oil. The next market is gold. Now, before I load that, just to highlight down here the coaching and support that we offer. We do a lot for free. You can watch a lot of our recorded sessions on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and places like that for free. And of course, we answer our frequently asked questions and our emails, again, all for free. Now, we do also offer a closed coaching community that gives you access to live videos and more resources. So check that out if that's of interest to you. But otherwise, like I said, we do offer a lot for free anyway. So gold, let's have a look at gold. Gold has also recently seen a big shoot to the upside. Not surprisingly, considering the stock market is showing us probability downwards, tends to be inversely correlated to gold, not always, but that's what we're seeing right now. As the stock market comes down, gold is going up. Now we have a thick blue dot on gold, probability upwards. We are overextended, meaning we have gone further up consistently than what we would usually see, but we do still have probability up. We have sellers up here that if we were to reach them might change things. They are between 2060.8 to 2027.8. We have buyers quite a way below us that if price were to turn and hit, we would expect them to push price upwards. They are between 1815.8 to 1888.5. Overall, not really close to either stacks of buyers or sellers, so probability up on gold coming from the climate. Now, volatility on gold, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year of 17.69%. So in a day, 21.99 points, in a week, 48.4 points, and in a month, 100.75 points, either up or down. So that's gold. Now the next market is the US dollar. So let's load this one and have a look at the US dollar. Again, inversely correlated to the stock market most of the time. It's what we're seeing here as well. US dollar going up. Thick blue dot, probability upwards. We have sellers up here between 98.55 to 97.935. We have buyers down here at 94.645 to 93.865. Again, not really close to either buyers or sellers for them to affect us today. So probability to the upside on the US dollar coming from the climate. In terms of volatility, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year on the US dollar of 7.44%. So in a day, 0.45 points. In a week, 1 point up or down. And in 1 month, 2.08 points up or down. So that's the US dollar. Now, last but not least is bakkt Bitcoin. Now, before I load that, just to highlight down here about our top platform. TOP stands for Predictive Options Planner. Now, I know it says options in the title, but you can use it for very detailed analysis on stocks and futures and Forex as well. If you're an options trader in particular, the options planner, the predictive options planner is very helpful with a lot of advanced tools. So check that out if that's of interest to you. So bakkt Bitcoin, we have, again, unsurprisingly for those that might be following it, thick red dot, probability downwards. We have sellers recently that would have helped with that, between 39,995 to 36,602.5. Now we have buyers down here that might change things if we were to hit them at 32,820 to 31,615. At the moment, probability down, sellers slightly closer to us, probability down with Bitcoin. In terms of volatility with Bitcoin, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year by 85.82%. But in a day, that's up or down of 1,894.32 points. In a week, 4,170.14 points. And in 1 month, 8,680. Oh, my mouse has gone with that. 8,680.84 points. So there we go. So that is bakkt Bitcoin. That's the last of our markets that we look at. Now, for each of our markets, we've looked at 3 major elements that add to the statistical probabilities of what happens in these markets. We first looked at market climate, which is using AutoClimate as our app down here, figuring out where the probabilities lie in terms of the upcoming market direction. Is it a thick blue dot, and therefore probability is that it moves upwards? Is it a thick red dot, and therefore probability is that it moves downwards? Or is it a thin dot of either colour, and therefore not enough probability in either direction? So we've looked at that per market. We then looked at buy and sell UFOs. Where do we have buyers that could push price up? Where do we have sellers that could push price down? And what are the numbers, the prices associated? And then we looked at market volatility, which is how quickly or how far we expect these markets to move in given periods of time, in a year, in a day, a week, and in a month. Now, last thing to look at is our weekly economic calendar, which we get from fxstreet.com, and we filter by high impact news, meaning we want to know which scheduled news reports are likely to have an impact on the markets that we trade and cause them to move a little bit. Now, today being Thursday, February 24th, we have some news coming out very shortly. It looks like that's 8:30 Eastern time, so just come out then, I guess, that might affect US markets and the US dollar. And then later on this afternoon, Eastern time, 4:45 p.m, we have some news out that could affect the New Zealand dollar or markets in New Zealand. So be aware of those things. Otherwise, guys, if you have any questions or you have anything that you want to go over, you can email me, Becky@tradewithufos.com, or you can go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. You can get different apps and platforms here. You can get one-on-one coaching, or you can scroll down, log in for free, ask your question here, or you may find that somebody else has already asked that question and you've got the answer there in front of you. So today is Thursday, so I'll be back tomorrow for the market commentary tomorrow. Join us in the rest of our sessions as well for the rest of the week. If you go to tradewithufos.com/live, you'll see our schedule. Otherwise, guys, I will see you next time. Have a good trading day and take care. Bye-bye.